Sinisterism is about finding the primal aspects of the left-hand path, primal in history, primal in the psyche, thus obtaining truth.
Greetings, my friends, and welcome back to your dose of sinister heathenry. But for those new to the channel, I'm Thomas Leroy, founder of the International Left-Hand Path organization, the Sect of the Horn God. The sect is an educational foundation created to not only make those with a black flame aware of its glow, but to also restore the shadow aspects to the ancient gods by going deep into the past, not only historically, but also psychologically. For the primal depths of the psyche are limitless. So, if this sounds interesting, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to learn more, join the organization, the Sect of the Horn God, at the link down below. Thank you. Let me tell you about how I met my unholy guardian demon, a what the fuck moment if there ever was one. But at the same time, one of the most profound experiences of my life. Now I'm going to preface this by stating that I tend not to jump to conclusions. It takes a bit more than me wanting something to be true before I accept it. But this experience made me understand that which can only be called the transcendent. I understand now what people mean when they say they've had a spiritual awakening. Early in 2015, while sick with the flu, I had an intense fever dream where I dreamt I was sitting in a room like the average family room, watching a documentary on a rather large TV. On the screen was a rocky mountain peak under a heavy dark sky. And amongst those jagged rocks and boulders was a battered wooden cart pulled by a team of dead yet reanimated goats. Rotted flesh hanging, eyes glazed, mouths stretched tight in morbid grins. And in the back of that cart stood a lean figure in a gray robe. Protruding from within the robe, where a neck should be, was instead a wrist, and at the end of that wrist was a claw-like hand or talon clutching a head. Upon that head was an androgynous face, blank and serene, its eyes and mouth closed, and stayed closed even as it spoke. The words the entity said, I don't remember, but I do recall they moved me. They did something to my subconscious. Then a name came across the TV screen, Soter. I woke up muttering the word, repeating it over and over. The word Soter and the dream as a whole felt very relevant in a way that's hard to explain, but those of you who have experienced the transcendent know what I'm talking about. This experience was more real than real. It was as though instead of dreaming, I had awakened from a dream. But there's more to this story. A couple of weeks later, while watching a video on Gnosticism, a woman who had written a book on Dionysus referred to him as Soter. As you can imagine, that got my attention because I thought my subconscious had invented the word. But maybe I'd heard it before, buried it somewhere deep in the back of my mind, I don't know. Anyway, after doing a little research, I learned that the word Soter comes from ancient Greek and it means one who saves or savior. the personified spirit daemon of safety, preservation, and deliverance from harm. But that wouldn't be the last time I was visited by my unholy guardian demon. Later in 2015, while dreaming I was speaking to Soter, a certain Austrian painter with a funny little mustache came up to me and asked if he could join the conversation. I told him to go away, that Soter only spoke to me. What that dream means, I'm still trying to sort out. Leave a comment down below if you might have an idea. No dream I had ever had has affected me in the way that these dreams have. It changed me. It also changed the sect in its core philosophy because it helped me to better understand those who say they've been moved by spiritual or supernatural revelations. Now, all of this can be understood as simply that my subconscious communicated with me, sending me symbolic messages, but this was more profound. I obtained a mental clarity I never had before. A conduit had opened that had been closed, making me more receptive to what was truly going on. It was as though I had seen through the very structure of this objective reality and gazed upon truth. I was no longer looking at the shadows on the cave wall. I saw what was casting those shadows. People want to believe in the gods and monsters, angels and demons. And after my experience with Soter, I know they're real. They're alive, surviving in that endless void that Carl Jung called the collective unconscious. But Soter is a subjective entity. It is my unholy guardian demon and my personal psychopomp. But you have one too, because in that place deep beneath the facade of personality lies something ancient, something that's been waiting since the birth of consciousness, waiting for you. It's more commonly known as the daemon. It's not psychosis. It's the soul's, psyche's hunger to be recognized. You hear it first in childhood, but society teaches you to close your eyes. It does not go away though. No, it's a part of you, and it cares only for raw truth. It's the voice that brings forth your art, your rage, your lust for something more. It's the luminous parasite of your potential, devouring the false self to bring forth something terrible, yet divine. But understand what the mystics and madmen have known for eternity, and that is the unholy guardian demon is double-edged. It is your muse, but if ignored, can unleash your beast. Because it doesn't care for safety, it just wants you to be whole, even if that means tearing you to shreds. Paradoxical, yet true. Now, some of you might be thinking, what's the difference between the beast you mentioned in your last video and the unholy guardian demon? Well, staying within the realm of Jungian psychology, the beast or the shadow and the unholy guardian demon or the daemon are related, but the beast is what most people keep hidden in the dark, while the unholy guardian demon is what heralds the beast's existence. Get what I'm saying? And both are essential in Jung's alchemical process of becoming whole. These entities, one trapped in the chains of denial, the other rising out of the fire of divine madness, emerge from the same churning womb of the unconscious. They whisper with the same voice, though one howls and the other seduces. Both are reflections in the mirror, demanding we look and see not the face we wear, but the monstrous and unholy truth which lies beneath. They rip open the husk of the false self so that something true or something terrible yet radiant can crawl out into the light. But the unholy guardian demon gets trapped in the depths. That can happen sometimes. It's as if the beast has captured it. For example, a repressed creative talent, a demonic gift, if not utilized, can manifest itself as envy or resentment toward those who utilize their talents. Now, how often have you seen in today's world people filled with resentment? They're everywhere. So from time to time you have to confront the beast to liberate the demon. The unholy guardian demon is fire, your fire, but don't be afraid of the burning. And when you answer its call, it becomes your guide through the chthonic underworld of the psyche. It shows you the sacred in the grotesque, the divine in the horror. The unholy guardian demon is the voice in the dark, the one that does not flatter, does not beg, but commands you to ignore who you thought you were, thus allowing you to become what you must be, monstrous, sacred, and whole. In conclusion, my friends, have you met your unholy guardian demon or daemon? And if so, tell us about it in the comment section down below. Let's get a dialogue going. I'm curious to how many others have experienced what I did. How did it move you, change you? Was it scary, transcendent, or both? I really want to know. Until next time, my friends.